Hello, it's Minisode 31. Harry's smiling at me. What are you smiling for?
Huh?
Today we're talking about money, basically.
Yep.
Money. How much should a theme park ticket cost?
How much?
How much? Well, I feel like it's quite a complicated conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously it's not like every theme park's exactly the same, is it? So there's like completely different reasons why each park should be so much money.
Mm-hmm. I think it's less about how much it costs, but more about how good the value for money is.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it worth it?
Yeah, essentially, is what you're paying worth what you get?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess we start by talking about some parks and how much they cost.
Well, I think generally I would say the lowest that a theme park should be is like 20 quid.
Yeah.
I think every theme park is worth at least 20 quid.
Yeah, so Blackpool Wow Weekends,
Yeah.
when it's like 11 till 5 or whatever, is £20 to get into. So, yeah, I'd pay more than £20 to go to Blackpool anyway, to be honest.
I wouldn't.
No, definitely. There's more there.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff to do there.
Yeah,
I'd say they could get away with 30.
probably.
But then the thing is that's all well and good when you think about one person is £30, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then imagine if you had like a family of 4 or a
Yeah.
family of 6.
Makes all the difference.
That's insane amounts of money.
Yeah.
But then I guess they have like family prices, don't they? Which is good because especially as like probably not everyone in the family is actually going to ride stuff, you know. But yeah, I'd say it depends on things like how many rides do they actually have and how, in quotation marks, good are the rides. Do you know what I mean? So something like Alton Towers, they have like big thrill rides and quite a few of them. So I feel like they can charge a bit more because you're getting on something that's essentially more expensive anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to like a fun fair and they've got like really stock rubbish, like little flat rides and boring things, then obviously you can't exactly charge like £50, can you?
No.
What else do you think it's about?
I mean, there's more to a theme park than just rides, you know. There's shows and kind of the general vibe of the place.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be more willing to pay a lot of money to go to Europa Park than Flamingo Land, even if they did have the same rides, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because one just looks and feels better than the other, you know? Yeah, so I think it's a whole mixture of things, really, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it all comes back to value for money, though, and how much you're willing to spend. And then you could even argue as well that on your first visit to a theme park, you're willing to spend more because you haven't been before.
Yeah.
So, you know, on repeat visits, the value of money decreases because there's that novelty factor. You know, you've never done it before, so you'd pay to do it. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, what parks for you seem like they're good value for money? I don't know if you know how much a lot of parks cost.
I don't, and I was going to look up before, but I'm sure you know, like how much like a Florida Disney park is for one day, because obviously whenever we book a Disney park, we never book like 1 day ticket, do we? We always book a trip where sometimes it's even included and everything, so you don't really know how much like you're paying for 1 day.
It'll be over $100.
Over $100.
$120 maybe.
So like £100.
Yeah, I know that stuff like I think stuff like SeaWorld and Busch Gardens Tampa are about $80 for a day. Wow. So I imagine that Disney and Universal step up above those.
Yeah. See, the thing with that is... Okay, so wait, before we move on, how much is like Europa Park?
When I went, it was €44.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure now it's
Gone
€54.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a lot. Like, for a park. This is it, actually. The question is, value for money, I guess, for the big parks. It's never as good, really, is it?
You mean big as in there's a lot to do?
Yeah, I mean, £54 for Europa Park, in my personal opinion, is a bit steep.
Why? Because you can't get everything done in 1 day? Or because it's not as good as that?
No, it is, but it's just expensive. Well, and I guess this is where, in the UK, we're perhaps a bit spoiled, right? Because in a lot of Merlin parks, for example, you know, Alton Towers is £55 to get into at the gate. Yeah. Right? But you could buy a ticket online for 30.
Yeah. Which is actually insane when you think about it.
Yeah,
Because why would you ever buy it on the gate?
exactly.
Who is buying it on the gate?
£30
Is a
is good.
steal for
Yeah.
Alton Towers, I'd say.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then you look at €55, which is probably what, £60 for Europa.
Yeah.
So it's double. It just seems expensive. Another park that seems expensive to me is Phantasialand.
Yeah.
€45 for that park. As much as it's nice, I don't think it should be €45. It's a lot of money to pay for a park that doesn't have that much to do.
I think, okay, here's the thing. This is what I was going to kind of lead into earlier is Alton Towers, Phantasialand are kind of on the same level in terms of like they have big, good coasters. They're well themed. They're like nice vibes. But then that's where it kind of ends. Like if you look at that compared to Disney, Disney is like an experience in itself. There's 1,000 shows you can watch. There's a firework display. There's like all these extra like entertainment things. Do you know what I mean? There's like characters, everything that I would pay £100 to go there. Whereas Towers could never even go. I wouldn't even pay 50 to go to Towers because it's not immersive enough for it to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like not that level of quality.
Well, this is it. When you start getting up to the high numbers, you expect more than rides.
Yeah.
There has to be more than just rides because you're not willing to pay to go on rides. You can do that somewhere else.
But to me, Disney isn't even about rides. Do you know what I mean? Because the rides are rubbish in terms of like thrills and like adrenaline.
Yeah, I mean it is a theme park.
But it's not like, okay, I go to Towers
I know.
to go on Wicker Man to be thrilled,
Yeah.
right? I go to Disney to walk around it
Uh-huh.
and like take it all in. Do you know what I'm saying? So the rides are like just kind of there as well, but I'm not going for them because they're not like they're themed and
I get it.
and blah blah blah, but they're
I get
not a
it,
thrill.
but I also don't get it because the park would be nothing without the rides. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not about the fact
No.
that they're rides.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I get you, but at the same time, I think that if you took away and replaced with something else, it wouldn't be the same. As much as your experience isn't the rides, I think the rides is what keeps everything going.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, it's not a thrill ride.
No, but they're not. It's not a thrill theme park.
That's what I'm saying. It's a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
It's like, let me sit on this boat and you tell me a story. It's
Well,
not
this is it.
thrill me.
All the world's most successful theme parks are family-orientated theme parks.
Yeah.
You've got, well, mostly. You've got, obviously Disney is pure family pretty much. There's barely any thrill. Universal is mostly family, but touch on that thrill a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you've got, in Europe, for example, you've got Europa Park. 3 big coasters. I'd say there's only one real big coaster that's I would call a not a family ride, and that's Silver Star.
Yeah.
Blue Fire, a baby could ride it because it does nothing to you. Woden is a bit more intense, but at the end of the day, you could still probably put a kid on it and they'd like it. So
Yeah.
So Europa Park is the biggest park outside of Disneyland Paris. Family orientated. Efteling, family orientated. Has a few thrill rides, but not really that many when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's very much a family orientated theme park. Tivoli Gardens, again, family orientated.
Yeah.
So that is the vibe anyway, is not thrill rides. It's always family rides that the majority of people generally can ride and the majority of people generally can appreciate.
Yeah. But I think also, like, a park is worth more if it's a day out rather than just getting on a few rides. Like, for it to be a day out, there has to be good food, there has to be good entertainment other than rides.
Yeah.
There has to be like nice scenery so you can just chill for a bit. That's what families and generally everybody else in the whole world wants. That's why I'd pay more.
Well, that's of course that's right though.
Yeah.
Like as we said, you wouldn't expect that. You wouldn't expect to see anything else but rides at Blackpool for £20.
Yeah.
Right, but when you're paying the equivalent of £80 or £100 to go to Disneyland, if you didn't, you'd be really miffed and annoyed. So, but that's the scale, isn't it? The scale of value for money.
Yeah.
As the money goes up, what you expect to receive from it has to go up with it.
But especially, I would say, like, with the fireworks at Disney, like, that is basically half your ticket cost anyway, isn't it? Because if you go and see a fireworks show, that's going to be like 20 quid or 30 quid anyway.
Perhaps. I don't know how much Disney fireworks shows are.
Well,
Can
probably
tell
a
you.
lot.
Yeah, you'd expect 1 million.
Yeah. Isn't that mad, though?
Well, but
Every day.
if you're Disney ordering that many fireworks,
Every day
perhaps
they're
there's
doing
a big discount for ordering so many.
They probably have their own firework production line.
I
Every
don't think
day,
so.
Harry.
I think I remember hearing that one of the fireworks displays at Towers a few years ago was about over 1 million.
Really?
Yeah.
How much is the Towers fireworks ticket?
Same?
You just get into the park and you can see it.
Yeah, it's just an event. It might be a little bit more, like a tiny bit more.
Like
but
a tenner.
yeah, it's not vastly more expensive,
Yeah.
I don't think.
We
It's obviously,
also-
it's a draw, isn't it? So they're trying to get more people. So the whole point is that people come,
Yeah.
you know? So they're
And then
making up
recommend the
the
park.
money with numbers, not
Right.
price of the ticket.
Yeah.
That-
But then surely your whole day value goes down because it's going to be so crammed to get on rides.
But then you get fireworks.
Yeah, so I'd rather just
So it's
go on a normal day.
Well, but the fireworks.
And then go for the
fireworks
fireworks
good, though.
separately, though.
Yeah.
Just
of
turn up
course.
for the fireworks. Also, though, there's things like, what about, okay, wasn't it like Port Ventura, isn't it that there's no fast pass system, so the ticket's more? What park was
Europa
that
Park
at? Okay.
doesn't have fast pass.
Right, so is that why the ticket's slightly more?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Europa Park, people who run Europa Park are a bit crazy. I don't know. I don't know why.
Right, but I thought there was a park that did that.
What?
That didn't have fast passes, so your ticket price was slightly higher.
That may be a reason that Europa Park's ticket price is so high.
Okay, well, what do you think about that idea?
Depends. Depends how much more.
£5 more. Everybody pays £5 more, and then fast passes are just non-existent.
It's difficult to think about, really, because unless you know how much of an impact on your day it'll make, you don't really know how much it's worth. You know, and it also depends how much the initial ticket cost was to begin with.
I think that system doesn't really work.
So let's say would I pay £5 more to get into Alton Towers if there wasn't a fast pass?
Yeah, so £35 instead of 30.
On a standardly busy day, yes. I reckon that the fast pass would eat more, at least a quarter of the queue. So you'd be getting through that queue 25% faster, or no, 33% faster. Which is worth a fiver to wait a third of the time less.
Yeah, but they probably make way more than £5 per head on fast tracks, don't they?
Probably, yeah.
Because
people buy
fast tracks
multiple,
are
not just one.
so expensive.
But that's the point, though. If they make them
Yeah.
too cheap, then you oversaturate and everyone has a fast pass, like at Portaventura,
Yeah.
where the fast pass line is as long as
Everyone.
a normal queue would be, and the normal queue is 2 hours plus.
Yeah.
That's when it's broken.
What about if, like, how we went to Potton's Park before and the parking was free? Do you reckon they just subsidised that into the ticket because the ticket was slightly more than I was expecting it to be?
So I think Paulton's Park is a weird one. Most people who would be going to that park, right, their kids would get in for free. So I reckon they put they make an adult's ticket more expensive
Yeah.
to, soak up some of the fact that the kids get in for free.
So
So if you had a young family, 2 adults, 2 kids, you're paying 70 quid.
So it was
For
£35
4 people.
each.
Yeah, it's for 4 people then.
Yeah.
Which isn't as bad.
Well, that's probably...
Just
So
under
say
20
you
quid.
went to Alton Towers, you'd be paying 60 for 2 adults to get in.
Yeah, and then you'd have to pay...
Add the kids on
the
as well.
kid would be
And the parking.
probably another like 20 quid.
Plus
So-
parking.
Yeah, plus
So
6.
it's way more. So Potton's works out cheaper in the end,
Yeah.
even though
But-
for us it's a bit more expensive.
Yeah, but this is it. The target
Exactly.
audience of Paulton's Park is not us.
Yeah. So
Which-
they're priced it right.
I was thinking about this. Like, it would be good in the future if Paulton's Park wants to
Bring in younger people.
have a ticket that's specifically designed for younger people.
Yeah.
But then would they want to change that dynamic of having different people in the park?
Depends on their expansions. If they expanded again like Tornado Springs, they could do it.
They could.
But I think they should have like a student ticket. Do you know what I mean? Like a reduction. So like 30 quid or 28 quid for a student or something.
Well, you'd put it like 25, really.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure. But it depends what their trajectory is, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what everyone else thinks, because I asked like how much a theme park ticket should be, basically.
Coaster Force chimed in with free.
Free. Yeah,
That would be the
ideal.
ideal, yeah. Alas, that is not the case.
Imagine if they were free.
How would that work?
I don't know, but imagine.
I don't think it would. Sillicide Squad says, depends. I think the best price to quality ratio is Europa Park, even though I said that was quite a hefty one. He said it's 47 euros, while things like Disneyland are much more expensive with additional parking. And then Christopher chimed in saying that Europa Park is 55 euros now.
Oh.
55 is a lot.
Yeah.
For a European park, that is a lot.
Yeah.
So most European parks stay way below that number.
Well, Lush Velvet Coaster said that she thinks it's okay for like parks like Alton Towers to be like £50. But I think that's a bit steep.
Yeah.
£50 for a, you know?
I definitely think that's steep
Especially
as well.
when you can get it for like 30 online anyway. I think 50 is pushing it a bit too far.
Definitely.
Unless it's something like Disney where there's more going on. Unwound Steak 17 says the price should depend on how many rides are open for each day, which I thought was quite interesting, because say like Disneyland Paris now, they're shutting loads of things.
Yeah, so
but the price is still the same.
I agree. In a way, Disneyland Paris should be reducing the price of their other park to accommodate the fact that there's literally 2 rides open and it's so pointless. But most parks always do aim to have all of the attractions open.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it would be a thing that is barely ever enforced, and then what's the point in having it?
Yeah, because if a ride's down, it's generally like
it's not meant to be down.
Plan
yeah,
it.
exactly.
It just broke.
Just broke.
It's only down for like half a day or a day. You know.
Someone made the good point. Spark says, I feel like the cost of the ticket should reflect opening times, and then says if Alton is only open until 4 on a certain day, I reckon it should be 25 rather than 35 as an example.
Okay.
So, you know, the price.
But then on the days when it's a shorter opening time, that's because generally it's quieter, right?
Exactly.
So you'd get on the same amount of stuff.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Don't know.
This is it. Yeah, in a way, but people probably don't see it like that. Tom says he'd rather pay more for a park ticket if it means there's no fast track like Europa Park versus cheaper UK tickets that potentially subsidise, the ticket for fast track, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. We did speak about that. I would personally do that as well, depending on how much the additional kind of cost was.
Yeah.
Because it would save a lot of time at the end of the day.
A couple of people are saying kind of like people should be able to buy a ticket into the park, but if they don't want to ride stuff that's a lot cheaper, so like 10 quid if they just want to go in but they can't ride stuff.
But how do you enforce that?
People are saying like wristband situation.
Yeah, but wristbands is just effort for everyone.
It is a lot of effort. And I feel like everybody's at least going to ride one thing, like even if it's a flat type. Do you know what I mean? Like a little small kiddie ride even with their kids, you know?
Well, let's look at something like Leesburg. For their, or even, Blackpool, for their system to work, they have to have usually someone operating the scanner for the wristband scanner. Yeah. So you'd have to have someone at the front of every ride basically going, have you got a wristband? Yeah. Which is just a faff for them and a faff for us. Mm-hmm. There's no perfect way. Yeah, I don't think it works practically. It's a nice idea, but it just doesn't really work, does it? Yeah.
A lot of people are saying kind of like, make it a bit cheaper, but then add in the car parking for free. Like throwing in the car park. Actually, not cheaper.
I meant,
a bit more expensive.
Right.
So like what we were saying about Polson's, how the ticket price is a bit higher, but you get parking included in it.
Well, I guess because you feel like you're getting something for free then, don't you?
Yeah, but you're not really.
Yeah, but you're not really.
I don't know, it's just complicated. There's too many like factors to weigh up, and every park's so different that it's like you can't really say, oh, this is the average, like this is the price for a theme park day, because it's just so different.
This is it. And each, even going on a day-to-day basis would be different. The same park. Yeah. Depending on how busy it is, you'd get more value for money on a day that isn't so busy, where you can re-ride things very quickly, rather than, a day that is busier, but perhaps the days are longer because of it, but still. Yeah. Don't know. There is no perfect answer. I guess if people are willing to pay it, there you go.
Yeah.
It's
Just like Disney, like the prices are a bit extreme, but like people want to pay it, so why would they lower the price?
well, people don't want to pay it, but
yeah, but people will
they're
pay it.
willing to pay it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
Madness.
Crazy. Well, I guess don't know. I guess the one benefit we have in the UK is the fact that Merlin owns so many of the parks. An annual pass is so cheap.
Yeah.
You know, an annual pass to some of these places. I'm pretty sure Phantasialand is something stupid, like €200, and you can get a Merlin annual pass for like what, 130.
And you get like the London Eye and everything else included as well.
Yeah, so you get 4 theme parks and all of their midway attractions.
Yeah.
So we got good value for money here in the UK, honestly.
Yeah.
In terms of the big parks are really quite cheap to get into.
Yeah.
For sure. Whereas some European kind of parks are not as good. But then you have the schemes where they're all like partners of each other. Like
right.
Blackpool, if you have a Blackpool annual pass, a Pleasure Beach annual pass, you can go to Portaventura for one day, and I think Leesburg for one day, perhaps. Maybe even Europa Park for one day. So they're all kind of, all of these more independent ones kind of merge together, help each other. Big happy family.
Well, they're selling more tickets, aren't they? So
well, they just want people to go in because they're likely to then buy something else.
yeah,
So,
and tell their friends.
Yeah.